Hello there, you amazing viewers and subscribers, and welcome to our brand new special Doctor Who review, where in this video I'm going to be reviewing not one, but two Doctor Who stories. One of them is my second favourite story of this season, and we're going to carry on with season 17. So for this review, I'm going to be reviewing the last two stories from season 17. Because I got a very special video I want to make for tomorrow, and I'm hoping it's going to be a big, massive release. You know what I'm trying to say, because I want to talk about my favourite type of music in Doctor Who. So that's for tomorrow's video. So for today's video, I'm going to do not one, but two reviews in one video. One on the Horns of Nimon and the other on Shada. And a quick welcome to my channel to the new subscribers that has brought me up to 112 subscribers, and I want to say thank you for subscribing, and I hope you enjoyed watching my videos and enjoy this channel. So we're going to talk about the Horns of Nimon first. So what do I own of the Horns of Nimon? So what basically I own of the Horns of Nimon, I own the 2002 VHS release, and of course the DVD release from Doctor Who Myths and Legends, which was also released with Underworld and the Time Monster, another Tom Baker story and another John Pertwee story. I have to say, Horns of Nimon I absolutely love. Fantastic stuff, I have to say. Now, I love that the Doctor is there meddling with the TARDIS in the story. He's trying to update her, and it goes terribly wrong. Because when he switches everything off, the TARDIS was supposed to be like stop it in the middle of space, but it was still actually moving, and then it got caught up near a black hole where they ended up having to rescue a ship that was from the Skullcanner Empire. Now, this story was actually broadcast on the 22nd of December 1979 to the 12th of January 1980, and boy, is it a good story. I actually kind of enjoyed it. Is it a bad story that some people make out to be? I don't actually think so. My personal opinion on this story has changed quite a lot. This story and Creature from the Pit I never really used to like, but watching them, I absolutely enjoyed them. I mean, it's exactly the same with season 24. I never used to like Paradise Towers until I rewatched that before the box set came out. I love rewatching these Doctor Who stories just when the box set gets announced so I can rewatch them on the Blu-ray months later. I absolutely do enjoy this story. So, the peaceful planet Atron was once at war with the mighty Skullcan Empire. Now that the Skullcan ships have been returned to the skies of Andreas, demanding tribute, the Doctor decides that the TARDIS is in need of an overhaul and decoration. And after he turns everything off in the TARDIS is still travelling, and it becomes trapped in this kind of black hole matter thing that's being controlled by the Nimons that are literally controlling this other alien planet. And then, of course, you end up seeing Romana 2's sonic screwdriver, because she actually makes her own sonic screwdriver, which she accidentally leaves on the bridge after she puts it down when she is yelling at the control of the spaceship to go back for the Doctor, because he took off and left the Doctor and poor K9 stranded in the middle of space with a kind of a planet heading towards them, a kind of like an asteroid planet. Now, the Doctor does something very clever, and I didn't even know he could do it. Where he thinks he's going to collide with the TARDIS and destroys it, he programs the TARDIS to become like a bat. So the TARDIS is there, and I have to say, the model work they actually use for the spaceship and the TARDIS for this story is absolutely amazing, because I absolutely love it. Because when you see that little scene in part 2 with the TARDIS literally just like spinning, and the Doctor and K9 are there going like inside it, going like that, and it literally gets to the planet and bounces the planet off, and the TARDIS bounces off away from the actual whole plot of it as well, which is actually kind of enjoyable. I absolutely love that. That is a good model sequence, to be honest with you. The TARDIS just literally where you see it spinning and the Doctor there. I actually like when the Doctor goes up to K9, because K9's literally falling on his side, and he goes, "Are you alright, K9? Affirmative. What about me, K9?" He literally gets K9 to scanning, and he's like, "You are fine, Master." "Ah, good. Yes, good. Right then. Let's go and get Romana, shall we?" Now, orbiting the planet where he's literally looking down on the base, he notices there's like a kind of secret layer that is operated by the Nimons. So, meanwhile, on this spaceship that Romana is trapped on because he left the Doctor and K9 in space, are some people to be sacrificed to the Nimons. Now, the Nimons design, again, look very 70s. And I have to say, if these alien creatures were to return into modern Who, I would absolutely love it. I really would actually like to see them return at one point. And also, we have a kind of a guest character here named Graham Cordlin, who basically, if you don't know this, was actually in one of the lineups to play the Fourth Doctor when John Pertwee announced he was leaving, and Tom Baker got the role, and he still got a role in Doctor Who years later, working with the man who took his role off him. Honestly, you can't imagine anyone else playing the Fourth Doctor than Tom Baker, because Tom Baker is the Doctor. He is so extravagant, so extravaganza. He is the Doctor. And I really did enjoy Tom Baker. I mean, would you look at Jelly Baby? Very nice, yes. I really enjoyed Tom Baker's performance as the Doctor. I really do enjoy Horns of Nimon. It's a great story. Not as good. I get why people don't like it, but rewatching it, it has some great moments in it when the Doctor arrives on the Skulking planet and he literally comes at the TARDIS and he goes, "Why is it everywhere I go, everybody points guns at me?" It's such a Doctor thing to say. Everywhere I go, people point guns at me. Even the 11th Doctor said something like that. Goes, please. Even though, the Doctor gets a load of guns pointed at him during his run in the Classic Who, the 11th Doctor had exactly the same problem. I mean, when you watched When a Good Man Goes to War, he goes, please point a gun at me. It helps you relax. You're only human. And I really do like that when the Doctor's there going, why is it everywhere I go, people point guns at me? And in Modern Who, it's still exactly the same. People still point guns at the Doctor. So that's the only thing in Doctor Who hasn't changed. People just point guns at him. I really enjoy this story. I absolutely do enjoy it. As you can tell, for this special review, I am joined by Tom Baker himself, dressed from season 12. He actually popped out of time and space to come and join me for this review, didn't you, Tom? I'm joking, it's just my cardboard cutout. So that's the little bit of information I'm going to give you about the Horns of Nimon, because I really want you to experience this episode for itself. I'm giving it a good review. My personal thoughts on it, yes, it is absolutely great. It's one of the best stories. Well, it's not one of the best stories in season 17. I actually quite enjoy it. Rewatching season 17, I actually enjoy this a lot more than I did for season 16. Season 16, I used to think that was really great, but I rewatched that one a lot recently, and I'm like, the stories ain't as good here. Mary Tam's Romana isn't as good with chemistry with Tom, but when you watch Liana Ward's chemistry with Tom in season 17 and 18 as well, they have really good chemistry together, which means Romana too is basically becoming one of my favourite companions. She's in the top 5 now. Mary Tam's Romana is literally down, down, down. I really enjoyed season 17. So jumping into the next story. Now, this story was actually never broadcast because it wasn't actually finished filming. If it was supposed to be aired, it was supposed to be round about January, February time in 1980. That it was supposed to close season 17. But because this story was actually partly filmed and it was actually abandoned when there was a strike on the BBC, it was actually never finished filming and stuff, and it never got an air date. But luckily, in 2017, the BBC went back and animated the stuff that was not filmed with the original cast. Tom Baker came back to do the voice. Liana Wood came back and did the voice. So did some other characters to finish off this fantastic script by Douglas Adams. Now, what can I tell you about Shada? So, before I get into the actual proper review, I'm going to talk about why I own of Shada. Now, unfortunately, I do not own the 1992 VHS release, but in a way, I do, because I own it here on the DVD, because this is part of the Legacy box set. So, we've got the 1995, sorry, we have the 1992 VHS release here. Also, we have the 2017 DVD release of Shada with the animation, and it even does have the 1992 version of Shada in this one as well. And also in 2017, we have the Blu-ray Steelbook of Shada, which I own, which basically, this was the second ever Steelbook I actually ever owned for Doctor Who. I have to say that in general. This is the second one I actually ever owned after I bought Series 2. I absolutely love it. In this one, there are 3 versions of Shada. We have the VHS version from 1992. We have the 2017 one. And as well, we have the one with Paul McGann's 8th Doctor. And with Lana Ward and K9. So the another version of Shada, but taken from the 8th Doctor's point of view. And you can actually watch this only in this Steelbook, which is such a shame. I believe it's from 2003, the one with Paul McGann. So Paul McGann returns to the role of the Doctor in the animation of Shada. It's actually a great story. It's 6 parts. If you haven't seen it, I recommend try and find this Steelbook for it, because it only exists in this box set, unless they do a box set called Doctor Who The Wondrous Years, and they add Shada in with the Paul McGann disc. So that way you can actually have Paul McGann with the movie, Shada, and Night of the Doctor, so it can actually lead it into New Who that way. That's what I would like to see, if they actually ever do a box set of the Wondrous Years. So talking about my whole review of Shada, I absolutely enjoy it. So set on a space station, we see Skagra basically building up this mind ball machine. This machine can actually go around stealing people's minds, and there's only one mind he wants to go and steal, and it is I'm not going to say, because I don't actually want to ruin it for you in case you haven't seen Shada. Now, this is a great story because it does have the budget to go and film outside for part of it. We are in Cambridge. The Doctor is visiting a very old friend, Professor Scolios. He's very close friend to Professor, who basically is a Time Lord, and he basically took a book from Gallifrey, a very dangerous book. So he sends the Doctor a message to come to Cambridge to try and pick up the book. But unfortunately, the Professor accidentally lent it to a young man, Parsons, who is literally experimenting with the book by putting it inside an X-ray machine. And the X-ray machine just blows up because the book isn't actually from Earth, it is from Gallifrey. And it is the book about a very, very type of Time Lord prison known as Shada, where they lock up the most insane criminal minds. In one of these minds is the prisoner, if I could write it down. I am trying to read my writing here as well, just bear with me, sorry. I am trying to read my own writing. Yeah, this book contains the dark secrets of Shada, the lost prison planet of the Time Lords that nobody knows about, because it was wiped from all of the Time Lords' minds. So the Doctor, Romana, are trying to stop Skagra from getting into this most powerful evil person, so he can steal his mind and become the evil person in the universe himself. But he is followed by the Doctor. Now, while the Doctor is there with the Professor, Skagra is basically in his spaceship asking his computer information about the Doctor. So when you have a very cool bit of animation, because even though that scene is like animated, you still have clips of the 4th Doctor, and you do have Skagra going, he's no more than the renegade. He doesn't have much power than the most of them. Not the one that I specifically need. Again, why the Doctor and Romana are why the Doctor's gone to try and track down the book from Parsons. Romana is in her TARDIS getting a bottle of milk when the Professor Notice is actually end up being attacked by Skagra and having his mind connected up to the ball. So when you think he dies because of the contact, because his hearts give out, because the Professor is actually using his hearts to do Morse code to try and make contact with Romana and K9 and Parsons, And the Doctor, during this point, is being kidnapped by Skagra. He's literally being chased after Skagra because Skagra knows the Doctor's got the book now, and he wants the book for himself. So he literally sends his little mindless ball to try and steal the Doctor's mind. The Doctor ends up being basically kind of trapped in an alleyway, and then who comes to his help? Romana with the TARDIS. And then when you have Romana going, "Come on, Doctor," and the Doctor just goes like that, and he's like that, and he literally goes into the TARDIS. He accidentally gets his scarf caught into caught in the TARDIS door. I do love that sequence as well. Now there is another good bit where the Doctor turns Skagra's ship into a TARDIS, so it can actually try and get to Shada. The reason that happens is because Skagra basically steals the Doctor's TARDIS while using Romana and K9. We do have these kind of new alien creatures that are a really great design. I can't remember the actual name of them, I'm afraid. They're literally made of molten rock, and they're actually quite good. They only obey Skagra. Now, Skagra does literally get what he deserves, because he ends up basically being trapped inside his spaceship, and he says, "Let me tell you about the Lord Doctor." And he's just there screaming. And then literally at the end of the episode, you literally have the Doctor, the Professor, Romana, and Adam literally talking about the adventure they just had, having tea and biscuits. And then the Doctor and Romana go into the TARDIS. And then we are cut to that very nice sequence that was refilmed for this story by Tom Baker, where he's there talking about if people go where he's literally there in his actual old age, literally saying if people go up to him and say, "Isn't that the Doctor? Isn't he such a very nice man?" And then you get that such a Tom Baker smile, and then the credits roll. I really do enjoy Shada. It is an absolute great story. I didn't want to give too much away, because if you haven't seen Shada, I recommend to try and get the 2017 version. But if you want to wait a bit, because there is a new version of Shada coming out in the season 17 box set that is coming out on the 13th of December, where all of the episodes have been actually cut down from a full movie version into a 6-part version, and with new animation apparently. So I'm quite looking forward to seeing that. I believe it's like what they did with Power of the Daleks. So I'm quite looking forward to seeing that. I'm really looking forward to sitting down watching that version of Shada, because it was supposed to be 6 parts, where the 2017 version is a whole movie version. It actually wasn't put into 6 parts. It's literally 2 hours long if you watch it in one go. And when I first watched it, it just made my mind, because Tom Baker just gives a great performance as the 4th Doctor. Deanna Ward gives a great performance as Romana too. All through season 17, I absolutely cried to enjoy. So I'm going to literally cut down to the chase, because I'm going to say, rewatching season 17, my whole opinion has changed. I've already done a video about this, so if you haven't seen my opinion on season 17 now, I do recommend going and check it out. There will be a video coming out soon where I'm going to be re-ranking every single story, every single season of Tom Baker, and how I personally feel about them. Season 17, I consider to be the weakest season of Tom Baker for a hell of a long time. But rewatching this season, recently, it's changed. It's no longer the weakest. I think it's around about the 4th to 5th strongest story. I mean, the first 3 stronger seasons are definitely 12, 13 and 14. The first 4 seasons of Tom Baker, they are still the strongest, where you have 18, 15, 16 and 17 that are pretty good and stuff. But season 17, I actually think it's actually quite good, and I will place it after season 15, because I like the 4th Doctor and Leela, Romana too, and the Doctor are really, really good together. So keep an eye out for that video. There will be a video coming out next week on Monday, a look back at Doctor Who, and I'll be looking into 1976. So that's mainly it for this video. Thank you for watching this video. Please do like, subscribe and share, and let me know in the comments what you think of the Horns of Nimon and Shada. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.